Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The lies, the wokeness, the CEO, even Goonergate got involved somehow. This truly is the ultimate drama of gaming. And it is wild. There are two sides. People who say that this is woke garbage, and people who say no, this is a good game and we don't care. Now, the truth, honestly, I think is in the middle. I'm at least in the middle here. Is it a good game? Yes, 100%. Does it have forced wokeness slash DUI in it? Yes, also 100%. Did the CEO lie? Yes, but I am personally of the opinion of the fact that the CEO most likely did not want any of this woke crap in the game in the first place. And keep in mind, it's only two parts of wokeness in the game, which one is actually involving minors and 15-year-olds, which is a bigger issue that I forgot to mention yesterday. But it is happening. Now, I think the CEO was forced to take the knee, honestly, that he got given money, and well, if he said no, we're not gonna do this, he would obviously just get fired and replaced with someone who would make this whole game into an absolute mess. If he secretly was actually a woke activist, we would have seen it in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 already. Okay, the game would have turned into a shit show, and the small amount that we have in 2. Yeah, it's forced. It's in there for only DEI sakeness, but the game's still good. But the situation is wild.
Okay, just to make something clear right off the bat, this isn't a review of the game because I'm not done with it yet. Later on, when I'm finished, I definitely will make a final review, but for right now, I want to talk about the controversy surrounding this game, if you can even call it that, because a lot of people are idiots, and I tried to stay quiet because telling the idiots that they are, in fact, idiots usually causes them to harass you. But considering the fact that the original Kingdom Come Deliverance game was a pretty big moment for my entire channel, I figured what the hell,
Whoa! Damn, look at this.
I might as well just do it. Here's the background. Kingdom Come Deliverance, developed by Warhorse Studios, is an open-world, story-driven RPG which was almost universally praised when it first came out in 2018. I played it, I loved it, and I also got to see in real time how the game was attacked for somehow failing to conform in terms of modern expected narrative themes. As an example of that, we can look at Eurogamer, which essentially panned the game, saying, quote, "There's also a big problem. There are no people of color in the game," end quote. Even
That's never a problem in my book. It is what it is.
going on to individually target the game's creative director, Daniel Vavra, calling him a vocal supporter of Gamergate, and doubling down on the idea that exclusion is a form of racism. Ergo, Kingdom Come Deliverance, by not having more black people, de facto makes the game racist.
Oh, these people are just so annoying. Can they just please stop? Oh, excluding things that should not be there is automatically bad and racist. Oh, just stop. No one cares about you. Stop trying to get yourself attention by saying these stupid things that probably you honestly don't even believe. Everyone knows you're being intellectually disingenuous, and that's pretty much the end of the story. Stop spouting these absolutely useless hot button words that you yourself decided that should be important, and live like a life like a normal person. I am tired of this.
That is quite obviously on its face absurd, especially when you consider the fact that the setting for this game is the medieval kingdom of Bohemia, which was not a diverse place in any sense of the modern word. But the thing that I want to focus on is a top-down
No place in unmodern history has been diverse.
expectation
And if it was for a very brief moment until one side got slaughtered.
of control. If you want a much more recent example of this phenomenon, look no further than Hogwarts Legacy, which was boycotted because of J.K. Rowling's allegedly transphobic opinions.
Damn.
But that boycott, and there's huge air quotes around that word, ultimately failed to impact the game whatsoever, as it went on to become a massive commercial success because it was a good game.
Listen, I'm not saying that the woke crowd can't actually boycott shit, but the fact that something is gonna be, only released in a month or two and they start boycotting, that means that a certain percent of the people boycotting are not gonna be around to see the boycott in fruition by default. Okay? That's not me. That's just statistics at work here, boys. What am I supposed to say?
See, that's really what people care about in this industry. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, obviously, but what people truly want is a good, well made, fun gameplay experience, and if they get one, they don't really care about the politics or the social issues. Take Baldur's Gate 3, for example.
Now, granted, that's a little bit of a lackluster take. Yes, people want a good game, but if it has too many social issues and wokeness, then people are going to start calling it woke. So, people want a good game, but without too much of that stuff. I have always said that, yeah, you can easily insert politics into games and whatnot, but they need to be reasonable, not one-sided like idiots, and they need to make sense, and it can't be some fringe, stupid narratives. And then it's fine.
That game has a metric ton of what people refer to as woke narrative options, especially in the romance category. But the sheer depth of choice, the scale of the world, the amount of options that you have on what or when or why you do something is practically unparalleled in the entire gaming industry,
Yep.
which completely overrides any sort of outrage campaign. Because when you peel back all of the individual layers, what people really want, that is, the people that actually play the games, is just a good, well made, enjoyable experience. To be clear,
No. Again, I feel Echelon is just way oversimplifying the situation. If Baldur's Gate was all of these options, but they were all fucking woke garbage, people would not like Baldur's Gate because it would be, well, just one more preachy mess of a disaster, not an actual game, okay? These options can exist because the reasoning behind the options is what makes it woke or not. The reason that the Kingdom Come Deliverance black guy and gay scenes are woke is because they are just shoehorned in and they don't fit nor the narrative, nor the aesthetic, nor the lore, nor the anything. That's why they're woke.
can fully understand why people get upset if it feels like a game was somehow sacrificing a piece of its core identity for the purpose of pushing social and political narratives. God knows, The Last of Us 2 is a brutal example of that, in my opinion. And I've made that argument myself in the past.
Fun fact: The Last of Us the season 2 TV show is not gonna have She-Hulk, whatever her face is, because they could not find a woman that looks like She-Hulk in real life. So everything that Neil Druckmann said for literally years, that, oh, they need to have Ellie as a buff Hulk-like being because that makes narrative sense. Surprise, surprise, it's not making a single lick of narrative sense in the TV show because you can't find women like that. Surprise, surprise. Wow, who would have expected? I know, yeah, shocking.
Several times for different titles.
And now, by the way, Neil Druckmann is going to be eaten by his own fans because they're insane lunatics. And the fact that the fact that they're going to actually have a feminine character portray Abby is pretty much GG for them.
But hopefully by the end of this video, I'll be able to showcase that this Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 really isn't one of those cases. Kingdom Come Deliverance, the original, despite being an undeniably successful product, was vocally criticized by a small group of people over its lack of in-game diversity. But 7 years later, with the sequel, it's now being criticized by the flip side of that very same coin, a smaller group of extremely vocal people, not for its lack of diversity or inclusion, but rather because of it. Primarily, its
Well, to be fair, that point does make perfect sense, but whatever.
inclusion of certain romance options, which is one of the most painful displays of self-exposing idiocy that I've possibly ever seen in my time on YouTube.
Is it?
Lately, I've been trying to get creative with how I introduce video sponsors, but honestly, the most straightforward way to do it is to say that
It's to just skip them because they're probably boring.
So what are people mad about? Well, there's a few things, but mostly people are angry that the game contains a romance option where Henry, the main character that you play, can sleep with Hans, his friend. On a personal note, I think Hans is just a completely obnoxious character. So in my playthrough, I'm insulting him and calling him pretentious or insignificant is a specific one that comes to mind every single chance I get. Obviously, I'll never experience the romance dialogue because I deliberately tank my reputation with him. But even if you tried to find this dialogue on purpose, it's one scene in a game that has like over 100 hours of content. The thing is, people really care about this, and the rumors about this game.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense that people care about this. It doesn't matter if it's one scene in something that's hundreds of hours long. It's still a problem. Okay? Uh, I mean, I'm 30 years old. If I kill one person, that makes me a non-killer for most of my life. Should I not go to prison if I do that? No, obviously I should. These things matter. And the people who are saying it matters, I mean, I may not agree with this. I think it's a fine game, but they have reasons for it to matter. It does make sense. Their reasoning for it to matter is legit, and I support it.
Game being woke have been circulating since well before it ever released. Here's some slop article right here about how the game is reportedly banned in Saudi Arabia, which says, quote,
Oh yeah, we saw this.
it seems like the highly anticipated title is promoting an agenda via unskippable cutscenes, which has caused Saudi Arabia to ban it in the country, end quote. But if you have any understanding of this franchise whatsoever, you would know that 0 cutscenes in either product, the first or the second one, are unskippable. Not to mention,
Oh, that is a straw man. Oof, Echelon, what the fuck are you doing? That is a horrible argument. First of all, when this article was released, we did not know if it's an unskippable, skippable, or whatever cutscene into. That's the thing. That's the thing that people were talking about. It's the situation that Saudi Arabia bans it for being unskippable. No one can say it's not. The CEO literally comes out, starts yapping his fucking ass off about shit that later proved to be lies, and he does not explain anything about that. Is it skippable? Don't know. Didn't tell. Is it not? I don't know. And so people were people were kind of a little bit on edge about that, which makes sense.
mention the fact that
And the fact that the first game has has skip all the dialogue or the cutscenes are skippable doesn't mean the second game is gonna be like that. Not everything carries over from the previous title, as Dragon Age will guard that.
the game has not actually been banned in Saudi Arabia. Still, truth be damned, now that the game is finally
Also, we did not know if this is true that it's gonna get banned or whatnot.
released, you have people like this guy. Quote, gamers, our boycott against Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is
How is it working? This was, by the way, yesterday. This was yesterday. Where is the date of the tweet? I don't see it for some. But I watched these numbers. This was yesterday, and my prediction yesterday was that it's obviously going to go higher because. Wait, no, was yeah. Everything's fine because yesterday was Friday for that, so it makes sense. So it should be a lot higher now.
working. Huge victory. The game is already trending down a mere 7 hours after launch.
That sounds like bullshit. It probably launched like at noon and then it's night or something, and people are gonna, trend downwards a little bit.
woke, go broke. Gamers are tired of LGBTQ propaganda in games, end quote. Except, wait a second, because he took the snapshot.
Yeah, see? Again, games typically launch like during day most of the time, or doing the later parts of the noon or whatever. So yeah, it's trending down because people are going to sleep.
When people were going to bed.
Yeah.
Which is a cycle that you can see borne out on every single game on all of Steam.
I mean, obviously this guy is being a complete disingenuous liar because 150 60k peak players concurrently. That's not failure. That's not failure. Again, we're not talking about something like Star Wars Outlaws that most likely cost 450 million to make. Okay, this is bad for Star Wars Outlaws. This would still be bad for Dragon Age Railgun, but this is not bad for something like Kingdom Come Deliverance, something that is smaller.
Since that day, the game has reached progressively new concurrent high player counts every single day afterward, so far peaking at almost 250,000 at one time. In the first 24 hours, the game sold over 1 million copies, which is twice as many in half the time compared to the original, by the way. And when you contrast that with its development budget, which was something like $40 million for the sequel, the game is already earning tens of millions in profit very easily. You might be thinking, well, that guy was probably joking because no one is that stupid.
Nope, I know that account. I have seen that account on Twitter. That guy's not joking.
But you'd be wrong because he doubled down the next day saying, quote, guess what? Kingdom Come 2 is trending downwards again, lol.
Oh, it's trending downwards again! Ah, you're such a shitlord.
I don't think this game is turning a profit anytime soon. Get
Dude.
woke, go broke, 100%.
Okay, let's actually check. Steam DB. Oh, wait, actually. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 price Steam. How much is it? Buy video games online. PNP games. Let's see how much we can buy it online for. Free okay, I'm just gonna go in Steam even though I don't like it. But it is what it is. Okay. Store? Kingdom Come. Oh, right there. This Kingdom 60 buckaroos. Okay, so what do we have? 1,000,000 sales, 60 buckaroonies. That's 60 million made. Steam takes it's 30% cut. 30% from 60 million is 52. 52. Wait, 60 million I said, right? 42. Okay, 42. 42 million. I'm gonna guess that Kingdom Come Deliverance did not cost more than 30 million to make. And this is literally the opening days. Now, granted, it's the most sales, but you can probably expect another million sold over the course of, well, the year, the months, depending on how good the PR is. And the PR seems to be good. So this is unanimously a success.
Non-binary as like a little stupid joke, end quote.
And by the way, I have no idea how much a game like this costs for a studio like this, but 30 million honestly kind of seems on the high side of things. So, probably less?
Once again, you're probably thinking,
oh wait. How did the Steam discounts for getting... I don't remember.
No one on planet Earth is that fucking stupid. But you'd be wrong, because this guy contributes to a publication. I don't know if I should call it a publication.
Lifelong
That sounds way
gamer.
too legitimate for them.
Fandom
But he contributes
Pulse.
to a
Ooh.
thing which writes articles like this. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 features graphic depiction of child...
Well, there we go with the Gooner Gate. But I mean, this is true, though.
That right there, bad stuff. Which is quite shocking, to be honest. And this article was followed up with a statement that reads, quote, watching the entire anti-woke movement rally in unison against the horrible woke fest that is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a beautiful sight to behold, end quote.
Dude, I need to check up what's happening with Goonergate because on Twitter, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I think it's getting out of control. And that's when I want to check in again, okay?
Strong stuff, man. Very, very compelling, yeah.
And an obvious lie.
Well, the Fandom Pulse Substack, which is what he contributes to, is run by this guy, who claims to be a #1 best-selling author by standing for Christian values. And it turns out he's got a massive thread about how the game is an insult to Christians and gamers. What's more, this entire narrative about the game being woke is propped up and perpetuated by other influencers as well as YouTubers, like this dumbass, who has an entire video about how Warhorse Studios, which was acquired in 2019 by THQ Nordic, which is itself a subsidiary of Embracer Group, was commanded to put the woke agendas in their game. No joke.
Oh, that actually could be true. Because it's Embracer Group. Like, Embracer Group has their shitty DEI shit, like, all plastered all over their ass.
Because a random guy on Twitter posted an extremely obvious and sarcastic troll tweet. Even better, these three...
I mean, and Endymion would be stupid enough to actually take this and think it's a real fucking thing. But I'm not gonna lie. In the modern age of BS, stupidity, and whatnot, yeah, it's almost believable. Because he added at the end, it would appeal more to younger audiences. Yeah, that's the kind of autism I expect from these people, though. It hits exactly the nail on the head.
What Shitsketeers doubled and tripled down on the idea that Hans, who the character can romance for a skippable cutscene, is 15 because a codex entry says,
Isn't it he 15 though? Everyone's saying that. I believe that also. Isn't he? I mean, we're talking about literally medieval Bohemia, or aka the medieval times in general, where 12 is enough to get married and have children. So I'm not sure. It seems very believable that he would be 15. Like, when I looked at these characters, I assumed top, top age. The highest possible would be like 20. 20 for them. Max. Tippy top. 20.
underage in it and gives a historically accurate description of who he was in the real world. Just one issue with that part: the entire game is motion captured by actors who are like 30 plus years old, because the video game.
That's not an excuse for me, though. I mean, again, a lot of these things. Jesus Christ, we have entered the most stupidest speculation territory possible. Okay, this is like some shit that Destiny would talk about, and that's when you know you have entered the realm of insanity and not realness. Because it doesn't matter that these actors are 30. It doesn't matter if they're 50. What matters is the fact that you are supposed to think that's 15. That's the part that matters.
Adaptation has aged them up deliberately like 15 years. And these characters, Henry as well as Hans, have been sleeping around in bathhouses and romancing love interests since the start of the very first game. You actually get a massive buff to your character by sleeping with people, and that's been true this entire time. Notice how the outrage is only focused on the fact that Henry sleeps with Hans, and the supposed underage nature of that relationship, and not the bazillions of women that Hans slept with across the franchise so far. On top of that, since we're apparently
Yeah, I expected that part though.
using the codex,
But though that's a little bit different, I guess. At least in my perception, it's slightly though different. Because well, actually, I don't even want to go and explaining it. Again, all of this at this point is fucked. This is why this is the most insane drama that we have.
as our immutable truth doctrine, and thus using it to say that the game is showing illegal material, which they've directly claimed. Another one of the game's characters, Sir Markvart, according to this.
Okay, so if that's your opinion. Okay, so see, the problem with opinions like this is when you have them, now you need. If you say that this is not a problem, that means that you should theoretically be in support of Toodler, Youngling, like fake stuff. You know where I'm going with this. Very very small, very not what it should be like stuff. You're theoretically saying that you are also for that because it's the exact same thing. It's not this. It's not this other side of the coin. It's literally the same part of the coin. It's literally the exact same thing. So if you think this is right, theoretically you should never be against the old but classic 3,000-year lolly vampire queen. Okay? Then that is fine. And then it implies that you are for it. See, this shit doesn't work. This is where these problems occur. So, yeah, I don't want to go into this because I'm not gonna lie, you fucking retards are way too autistic to understand any of this, and it's way too complicated to explain from scratch what are the moral implications of a lot of this shit. So I just want to be on the surface level for most of it and just say, yeah, no.
Codex died in 1402, which is a year before the game supposedly takes place. Obviously, this means that codex entries can't be taken at face value because the development team have indisputably deviated from them in both a literal and creative sense. There's this bizarre.
that's a bad take because the CEO literally defended that shit. I'm pretty sure the CEO came out and defended the fact that he's. The CEO defended the fact that Hans is 15 here, by the way. He defended it. So this argument is just false because of the CEO who said, "Oh no, he is that." So none of this matters.
And spreading narrative right now that Kingdom Come Deliverance is a Christian game betraying the gamers. But that's like saying that a rock song which talks about Christianity is a Christian rock song. Christian rock, by the way, is its own genre, obviously. And just because a song decided to talk about a Christian setting or Christian themes or Christianity in general, it doesn't turn the final product into a whole new genre. Remember that earlier example, Hogwarts Legacy. With Hogwarts Legacy, a group of, I'm trying to not be overly insulting right now, a group of extremely dishonest people who really had no actual interest in the game itself attempted to boycott the product because they didn't like some sort of perceived social slight against them, and they failed completely because the game was good. With Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, a group of extremely dishonest people are attempting to boycott the product because they don't like some sort of perceived slight against their worldview, in this case, a gay romance scene, and they're failing. Remember how everyone laughed at the idiots who were angry over Hogwarts Legacy? I mean, like, we all laughed at them, okay? Yeah, that's you. That's the people boycotting Kingdom Come Deliverance. That is you. We're laughing at you, just like we laughed at them. You are idiots like they are idiots, okay?
Again, calling it idiots is a little bit too far in this case. At least this side has some reason to argue because of what it leads to. The other one just has like, oh, everything's racist. So it is what it is. Anyway, that was Upper Echelon. Jesus Christ, this is an insane thing. This is insane. Well, I guess that's a good thing. Easy views. 10 out of 10. Bye.